actually round 2 of drum sessions with Bloodfeast Ritual.
Round dos, that's Spanish for 2.
In case you didn't know what dos meant. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of retracking, right?
Yeah, we gotta switch up some parts and get some other parts clean, but yeah.
But for the most part, everything sounded cool. But since we're set up before we go putting mics everywhere, Tom, why don't you tell us about your kit?
Well, this is a Thomas Stark Classic Birch Babinga kit. The sizes of the toms are 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Got a 22-inch kick drum. We're using a Yamaha, what is it, steel snare? Right?
Yeah, it's a 6.5 by 14 steel snare.
Yeah, so we're using that because it gives it a really nice like crack to the snare sound, especially on the blast beats. We're using Evans G2 heads on the top, G1s on the bottom, mostly entirely Meinl Byzance going around the kit. I've got an MB10 on the ride, that's 22 inches, no, 21. And then I've got an array of everything from classic customs to pure alloy hats, mostly Byzance on all my crashes, but they're more dark sounding than your typical Brilliance. I find that gives a really nice kind of flavor to the music, especially when, you know, beating down on a heavy part. As usual, I got my Trick Pro 1V double bass pedals. Those are always constant. Scorpion percussion, pork pie throne. This thing's really comfy.
Yeah,
I like
gotta have a good place to sit.
Ultimate ears, IMs.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm gonna get Mike set up, and then once we get that done and get some tones going, we'll come back and run through that part of it. And then once we get drums done, it's guitar time. It's gonna be a fun 3 days here in the studio again. All right, we'll be back. We gotta get to work. Just finished day 4 of drum tracking. Today was a long day. Got a lot of killer work done.
Yeah, it was a day.
TT slayed it today. It was freaking awesome. All right, so we walked through his kit earlier. So mic-wise, now that we're done, we've got a lot going on here. We just finished doing samples actually, or taking tones of the kit. So let's see. Let's start out here this time. Rooms, up here on the wall, or high up, are the Roswell Pro Audio Delphos, and as you can see their perspective on the kit, we're about 15, 18 feet away. No compression on those. Then down here on the floor, I've got a pair of the Red 12 mics from 12 gauge microphones, and they are getting hit with the overstayer, like rocked hard. Now the overheads, we got 2 things kind of going here. Got the mini Ks. Here, I'll get in the front so you can see kind of how wide they are. Tom's kit is spread out pretty wide, so I have them out more over the sides where a lot of the cymbals are, and it's pretty freaking even, which is great. And then in the front, what I'm doing is using this. Those are Roswell Pro Audio mini Ks overheads, and in the front I have a Roswell Pro Audio Delphos 2 in cardioid. And its goal, as you can see, is I'm looking like at these cymbals, really, this stuff that gets a little lost with the wide overheads, and then a little bit of extra kind of front kit and toms, and you just blend that in a little bit. Does a fantastic job at shaping the kit. The kick drum, pair of Audio Technicas, ATM 250 inside, 4047 on the outside. The racks are all, here I'll zoom in a little, my good old AE 3000s. Perfect for this kind of thing because they can handle a ton of SPL. They sound great, but their form factor lets you slip them in between when there's lots of cymbals. And on this one I have some homemade baffles that I've made that I'm just blocking a little bit of the hi-hat out of that. Speaking of hi-hats, let's check out this mic placement. Got her tucked down in here. This is one thing I love, besides the fact that these ATM 450s sound great, is their side address, which makes them easy to get in tricky, let me see if I get another perspective, tricky areas. You can see there's not a lot of room to fit that sucker down in there. Now the floor toms, I went with the Heil PR30s. I love the way they shape the low mids, especially on these bigger drums. They do a fantastic job of just pulling out the beefiness. Then on the snare, all right, my homemade contraption, something I've been working on. But underneath it, I have right there's Audio-Technica Pro 63, and this is a Mike Parts, I think it's an SD84. It's a version that Matt makes that's kind of like a Cam 84, but this one he tweaked with a different transformer, and so it handles a little more SPL, and it's great on a snare drum, actually. It's the first mic I've used that actually captures the body and the size of a drum. And that's pretty much the setup. Everything's going through the console. Here's our setup. Both kick mics get bust. You see up here I have on the matrix for the Trident. I'm sending the kick mics over here to bus 1, which is, so they're getting mixed together, and also the 2 top snare mics, I just blend them to taste and send them over here to the snare bus and mix together. On the kick bus, it goes Dynamite, used as a little bit of an expander, which goes into the 542 Rupert Neve tape emulator, which then goes to the A-Range EQ. These things are fucking killer on drums. And then finally ends up over here on one of my DBX 160Xs, and then gets printed in Logic. The snare starts at the Dynamite, also getting used as a little bit of an expander. Goes to my other Rupert Neve tape emulator. Then it's going to the Cush Audio Clairphonic, just getting a little bit of the open, the bottom. This thing is great. And then that is going over here to the WA76, and then get printed in Logic. The only other compression is here on the room mics, and that is the good old Overstayer. Nothing beats this guy for rooms. If you want to blow something up, this is the compressor to use. It's freaking amazing. The rest of it is that guy's hands over there just hitting the crap out of round pieces of wood with long pieces of wood. No good way to say that, really. No. But that's it. That's the final for this. Next round is we're getting ready to set up some 6-string slinging. It's time for him to go to work. And Hunter, who is somewhere else.
You shitting.
So we'll... It's one of those days. We'll be back with some guitar stuff later.